The Bay Area is home to some of the most unique rappers out there. In the late 80s and early 90s, we saw Too Short, The Digital Underground, and eventually Mac Dre. But let's not forget the artists who dominated the 2000s, like Baby Bash, E40, Smoothie, Krayshawn, Lil B, Dirt Nasty, G-Eazy, and there's probably a lot who I'm forgetting. It seems like people who live in the Bay Area are more in tune with local artists than they are with mainstream artists, because if you went to a record store in Oakland during the 2000s, half of the CDs would be artists who lived within a 50-mile radius. This made it so artists were more inclined to stay independent and just tour locally instead of signing a record deal and giving up most of their money. What makes the Bay Area special when it comes to hip-hop? Well, there's a few things. Not being afraid to express yourself, the support from fellow Bay Area rappers, and unique production. A Bay Area artist that is sometimes overlooked is Woodie. Now, Woodie is from Antioch, California, and became a norteño at age 14. So norteño means northerner in Spanish, they wear red, and they're also called 14. Their rivals are Sureños, they wear blue, and they're also called 13. Now my man SPM, he's got love for 13s and 14s, allegedly, and he'll explain the difference.
That's penitentiary shit, bro, to be honest with you. You got, in California, you got norteños and you got sureños, you know. The norteños hooked up with the brothers. The norteños hooked up, you know, more with the blacks, whatever. So they say niggas. The sureños, they hook up more with the border brothers. You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans from Mexico, they hooked up more with them, so they don't trip like that. They ain't down.
So Woodie's gang affiliation would be a lot of the substance for his music. Now Woodie went to Antioch High School and several alternative schools. Living the gang lifestyle, his friend Blackbird would get shot dead by a police officer, and his other friend Snoop would serve life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Now Woodie always had an interest in music, and being able to produce came naturally to him. In the early 90s, he would get arrested for attempted murder, but was able to reduce the charge to assault with a deadly weapon and served 1 year in Folsom Prison. After getting out of jail, he started taking rap really seriously, and he recorded Yacht Influenced. Now Woodie rarely did interviews, so a lot of information comes directly from his music. It's very introspective, and on this album he had a song dedicated to Blackbird, but my favorite song from this record is probably Norte Slidin'. I was a little surprised that he actually made the beat for this song. When I talked about the Bay Area being in its own world, having its own distinct music scene, Woodie would send his cassettes to record stores, they'd sell out, then they started pressing CDs, and they ended up selling thousands of copies in the Bay Area, and Norte Sliding was getting radio play. As a result of hard work, he had a slow and steady come up. Woodie would then work with D Small to make Northern Exposure Volume 1. In this compilation, he explored themes like suicide and depression. Woodie would gain national attention and be featured on a magazine called Murder Dog. After releasing a handful of compilation albums, Woodie got signed to Cock Records and released Demons in My Sleep. Woodie had some disagreements with the record label not putting all the songs on the record and choosing the album cover for him. Now, Woodie didn't do a lot of interviews, but some of the stuff he says really hits the nail on the head. One thing is that the music industry is oversaturated with people who aren't talented but just want to be famous. people focus more on promotion than actually making good quality music, and that couldn't be any more true today, especially with social media. Some people have no business making music, but they do it anyway because they're attracted to the idea of being famous. And Woodie said this over 15 years ago.
Saturation of music in the Bay.
That's because they got all this new electronic. You used to have some big equipment to get shit done. Now everyone can have a project studio and just want to be famous and not swear they got talent, even though their homies are telling them, that shit don't sound like little money. You know what I'm saying? They get a little money, they put out the album, and it's another thing that distributors have to look through, and they don't know. They don't listen to every fucking album, so they got now they got this biggest stack. Back in the day, they had this biggest stack to pick from, and they ordered it all. So yeah, that takes away from the true artists and the true talent from the Bay Area. You go talk to Selecto, his City Hall, whatever. Good luck, you just gotta holler at them. You know what I'm saying? Try to get a deal or whatever.
What's a good way to promote stuff like independent? How do you go about promoting?
First off, you make quality music and it'll self-promote itself. So all that talking about this money on this money on that, quality music promotes itself. You don't have to have promotion. If you drop a good album and make it available to the public, word of mouth will get that product to continue to sell because it's good music. You could promote the shit out of something, but it's a piece of shit album. Someone goes and buys that album, word of mouth is gonna kill that. All that promotion with them, like, oh, that album's whack. After a certain amount of people buy it, that album's whack. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like brainwashed to the youth or the kids or whatever, like MTV does with all that shit. They just jam pack it like that. But when it comes
On March 7th, 2007, Woodie would take his own life at the age of 32 years old. They say that he committed suicide because his wife died in a car crash, and some people don't believe that he took his own life and that he was killed by a Sereno. His song lyrics said, "When I die, just let my body lie in peace beneath the earth in the sky of Antioch on East 18th. And this is where he was buried, and as you can see, it's a nice picture of him and his dog, but unfortunately in 2018, somebody actually stole his headstone, and nobody knows who did it. It could have been a fan, a rival gang member, or somebody trying to sell it, and it is a very disrespectful thing to do. So last thing, I noticed that Woodie doesn't have a Wikipedia page for people to read about him or write extra info. I tried to edit it myself, but it said that this page is protected to prevent vandalism. I don't know what their beef is, but I believe these people should be written about on Wikipedia and not forgotten. Anyway, shout out to Trash Can Records for recommending this video. I'm out.